Good evening and welcome to Joey on the Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel, looking at things in the Caribou, especially our top stories tonight. Well, I didn't start this video with this top story in mind. I came here to talk about the thunderstorm outbreak that's going to happen in southern British Columbia. However, there's been a big flood situation occurring. A slide has happened in the Chilcotin River down by Hansville. It's totally blocked the river, and we have more volume of water already than was at Mount Polly when it let go, for example. So we're very concerned. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes. And the thunderstorm outbreak, we got some real fire weather coming to British Columbia in terms of heat and low humidity as this ridge passes through, builds in. However, we also have a large outbreak of thunderstorms, so we expect a lot more new fire starts coming in the next week. All right, let's go. This is bad news. There it is. This is bad news. My God. Falling out right now. Anything could happen. Get on! Wow. I'll watch the video later. They dry up in this. So here is our view of the landslide. It's massive, close to Farwell Canyon there, and you can see it is completely blocking the river. The river is not flowing past it whatsoever, so we got this big lake forming up in behind. There's been a lot of geological events like this in British Columbia's history. This is not unusual. Ice dams and also slide dams, right? But as you can see, this is a tremendous slide. It's huge. It's completely blocked the river. If this lets go, it's going to do damage to every property that's at the floodplain level from Hansville to Hope. And the longer that it builds up, the more water there's going to be. This could be quite a devastating event. So this is very concerning. If you live near a floodplain in British Columbia on the Fraser Basin, you better be taking strong note of this, right? Because this is bad news. I'm sure there's going to be evacuation alerts and orders beyond what I'm already aware of. So that's something to just keep forward. Keep listening to your local regional districts. Keep listening to BC River Forecast. And hopefully we get out of this one with some engineering help. But I don't know, these events tend to build up, and the pressure and weight of the water tends to let it go. And once it goes, so that's why we have order because of landslide. We have this evacuation alert now across the Middle Fraser, flood warning, major basin event. River Forecast Center is issuing a flood warning for Chilcotin River upstream of landslide, and flood watch for Chilcotin downstream of the landslide in vicinity of Farwell Canyon. Fraser River from Chilcotin River confluence downstream to Hope. Fraser River downstream to Hope for high stream flow advisory. Overnight in July 30-31, landslide occurred in Chilcotin River near Farwell Canyon, 18 kilometers southeast of Hansville, pushing debris across the river channel and blocking the flow of the Chilcotin River. The landslide has dammed the river and is creating a lake currently extending several kilometers upstream. Higher water levels are expected along Chilcotin River upstream of the dam. Prior to the landslide, the flow was about 200 cubic meters per second. The near total blockage by the landslide has caused abrupt cessation of the flow downstream of the Chilcotin River, which is a major tributary of the Fraser. A corresponding decrease in flows is apparent in the Fraser River downstream of the Chilcotin River confluence. Data indicates that flows declined by 150 cubic meters per second through midday on July 31. The eventual overtopping of the landslide material may lead to sudden erosion of the debris and catastrophic failure of the landslide dam. This could potentially cause an outburst flood downstream of the landslide. In this scenario, a surge of water would rapidly move down the Chilcotin River into the Fraser. Water levels could increase suddenly extremely along the Chilcotin River as well in the Fraser. The event of catastrophic failure, the flood surge could reach Fraser River within hours, potentially traveling Chilcotin River to Hope within a day. But what I'm actually here to talk to you about today is the thunderstorm forecast coming up for British Columbia, and it's going to get spicy fast. So here we are on Friday. That's when things really kick off. We see areas like Princeton maybe having strong thunderstorms in the vicinity. Also the Kootenays looking at possible strong thunderstorms into the valley from Columbia Valley from Golden south up to Canmore areas, that Rocky Mountain and northern Columbia's as well. Less so for the Caribou. And we watch Kelowna maybe see risk nearby in Boundary. So those are the target areas for Friday we're looking at. However, the thing is Friday is not the only day. And on Friday we're looking at temperatures that are going to be quite warm down south. In a lot of places above 29, 32s, 34s, things like that, quite possible, quite warm even up to the 26s and whatnot. And that corresponds with a drop in humidity across the board. So we are entering into a situation of fire weather because fire likes to breathe dry air. So here we go on Saturday, dry air, going to be quite warm again, right? So you add the thunderstorms to that. Well, what are we going to get on Saturday for thunderstorms? Boof, the Wells Fire Department alarm is going off right now. But that is normal for 7 o'clock on Wednesday evening. So we see a risk certainly in the Rockies, South Rockies, see a risk in the Caribou, see a risk you know, in those southern Chilcotin mountains as well. So Saturday, that's what we're looking forward to. And the thing is, we got thunderstorms every day on the map. There's not a day coming up where we don't see that risk. There we go, into the Chilcotin Saturday evening. Maybe a bit of that west caribou. So we got a long, widespread risk. Sunday won't be much more different. Somewhere in the Bella Coola area, maybe coming up south of there and into the Caribou South Rockies again. Cranbrook over across. Oh, there you go, Sunday. There we go. Same area again, Chilcotin and South Caribou. Maybe some popcorns, pop-ups through the Columbia, through Thompson area, North Okanagan or North Okanagan. And Monday, this is going to be pretty wild. Monday by noon, we got large area of storms going on, possibly in that. Well, that's the river. That's the North Thompson, and again in the South Chilcotin, and again up into the West Caribou later in the evening. Some of these storms possibly living on for a long time. We could even see nocturnal storms at that time too in the Caribou, South Caribou area. So that's looking forward to. Maybe some nighttime flashes. Get your cameras ready. That's everyone's favorite. And here comes Tuesday. Tuesday's a big show. Tuesday's a lot of lightning again for the Cranbrook area first, early, probably before noon they're thinking. And now we're getting further out of models, but this is maybe it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I don't know. Like don't quote me on the exact day, but this is probably going to happen. That's what we're looking forward to. So widespread thunderstorm outbreak. Is Tuesday enough? No, we probably need some on Wednesday too. And look at this, through the night, possibly Wednesday morning, probably seeing some popcorns living through the night, some larger storms continuing on. Convection not being inhibited. And Wednesday, large risk again. Large risk for Prince George now. Large risk for that same area in the southeast. So the same, this time a little bit maybe Francois Lake, but this all may change between now and then. But this is trying to give you a picture of what we're kind of coming into now. Some warmer weather, although next week extreme by any measure. It will be dry air and it'll be hot days, you know, like you might expect to see in a summer. Maybe not approaching extreme heat wave like we seem to have gone through in July, but fire weather. And Thursday, possibly up the coast mountains, possibly in that southeast again. So we got a lot of lightning coming to us, friends. We got a lot of lightning. And we'll look at, I mean, we're talking a week out now. But what we do know for sure is that Friday we're going to see chance all through that southern part of British Columbia. Is going to continue with that pattern. We're into a pattern of thunderstorms again. It's coming again. So we've kind of had a nice break from with cooler down weather and less convection, but that break is about to end. Here we go. We're coming into it. So every day in the next maybe 10 days, somewhere, and we have what could be a widespread event at some point too. I don't know if this quite looks like our last widespread major event. We'll have to see. We'll cross that hurdle when we get there. We're still looking pretty far out. It's only Wednesday now, right? But I think the models are pretty consistent on what they think on this stuff. So bam, into Friday, that ridge comes up, some storms in there. I don't know if we're talking really severe on many of these yet. Nothing stands out to me so far as being real severe. We do have a hurricane down there down south, and it seems like another tropical storm popping up by Florida. Looks like the prairies are going to see something pretty interesting happen there. BC, there we go. We're going to ride that nice ridge, and maybe catch a bit of it next week too. So not as hot as it's been. 340 fires right now in British Columbia. 6 fires of note still. In the last 24 hours, 7 new fires. So we did see, not that long ago, we were seeing that there was only 1 new start in that 24-hour period, right? So now we're kind of already seeing a little increase. The drying has already begun a little bit. Right now there's 78 being held, 6 fires of note, 133 out of control, and 123 under control. So, you know, all in all, fire danger rating map not looking too bad. Southern Alberta, southern Saskatchewan, pretty dry. Sections of northern Ontario that are high risk. Certainly up in this Northwest Territories area, that's bizarre, but there it is still. High fire risk there. British Columbia sitting at very high. Yeah, in a lot of places, until you get up to the Caribou, where we're looking at moderate or even low in places such as the Caribou Mountains here, where things have really wetted down a little bit. That doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. Because if we just bump ahead 6 days in the forecast, already we're seeing a wider spread area we get a couple of red dots on there. I mean, this will probably change. You know, this will probably be higher than what this map shows, I would believe, but maybe not so for the parts of the Caribbean. They're looking pretty good right now. Maybe down south more. We'll have to see how much rain these thunderstorms bring. That could be a factor in all this. Are these low precipitation storms or high precipitation storms? Well, we can find that out in a minute too. But we expect the Duff Moisture Code, the DMCs to get drier and drier, right? And we'll look at the FFMCs, Fine Fuel Moisture Code, things drying out still by August. So this is kind of the expectation that fine fuels will be getting drier and drier across Western Canada. Well, let's have the final look. The final look is this one right here. This is the build-up index. The build-up index kind of puts together a bunch of things. Numeric rating, the total amount of fuel available for combustion. It's based on the DMC and the DC. The BUI is generally less than twice the DMC value. Anyways, the build-up index is looking like wider spread areas. So we're coming into fire weather, we're coming into lightning, and maybe this isn't the extreme scenarios we've seen so far this year, but it's something to keep aware of. Like, we're not out of fire season at all yet. You know, it's taken a bit of a break, and we're glad to have got ahead a little bit, but this is still... We still have maybe 60 days in the fire season, depending on when the rains do actually come. So an easy way to find out if there's low precipitation storms or high precipitation storms is first we hit rain accumulation. Next 5 days, what do we got? Not looking great. Not looking great. Next 10 days, not looking great. So we got thunderstorms possible, but we don't see models showing that they're confident these thunderstorms bring a great deal of rain with them. We start popping through. You know, what does our drought intensity look like coming into next week? And we're getting back into some values that are, you know, concerning. And, you know, this is the reality of BC right now, is that, you know, over 1,100 people under evacuation orders, nearly 2,500 people under evacuation alerts. That's going to change up and down with the flooding situation that's going on for sure right now. So that's one thing that we now have multiple sources of evacuation going on, but also our drought situation in BC, a lot of places are still in high category of drought. So where is that? Just looking quickly, but Fort Nelson, category 5, or 5, yeah, for up there, no, category 4. Category 4 for the Peace, South Peace, level 3 for the North Peace, a little bit better in Findlay. Parsnips, looking at level 2. Middle Fraser, level 1, that's not so bad. Vancouver Island, level 4. Some high levels in Similkameen, Okanagan, Kettle, places like that. So we do have areas in BC that are still in full-on drought condition. Upper Fraser West, especially not looking good. They're 4 out of 4 as well. So from a drought perspective, very little rain coming, and possible thunderstorms bringing lightning for fire perspective. Throughout the week, we're seeing pretty high values, even up into the northwest at points. Sunday as well, when the low starts to really pound into the south there and pull some of that heat. South is going to see some pretty hot temperatures, 34 and things like that for sure, or higher. So there is that potential on Tuesday for stronger winds in southern BC. And I mean, what we're concerned about, these winds can happen any time, but if they happen during the heat of the day, fires that are affected, say like our friend in Lytton here, he could get some of these stronger winds, right? Gusts of 43 down the canyon walls. That fire, that's going to keep that guy still pretty pissed off. So we do have moments this next week as that low moves through where I think we're going to see stronger winds. And these are some of the events that we talk about, right? Where we get hot, and then a dry front moves through, a cold front, and it triggers a bunch of thunderstorms, starts a bunch of fires, and also the wind pounds in. And we don't want to see those wind values in the southern British Columbia, but that's definitely things that firefighters will have to keep a lookout for. And of course, the managers, they all know this. At the top, you got fire behavior coming towards you and maybe some trees coming down, stuff like that. So that's our concerns for the next week. But first, we'll get through. We got a day off on Thursday. Things will look pretty nice. And Friday, we'll see our round 1, see what happens here. And as we get into the pattern, it'll be easier to start predicting what the pattern's going to do. I find it's like sort of hard before that first round of thunderstorms to get a real clear picture of what the next rounds are going to do. But it's like that sort of establishes sort of like some evidence or something for me where I'm like, okay, now that this did this, this will lead to that, you know. So don't ask me how my brain works. And thank God there's lots of great models out there that we can all look at and try to get a better idea. That's one of the reasons I like to use Windy so often, is because it's an app that all of you can go and you can cross-reference. I might fly through things very quickly in a video, but then you can go for yourself and look at the app and be like, oh wow. So I'm not advertising for them at all, but it just seems to be the one that people commonly use that's the best for that. Anyways, I have all kinds of models we could look at. I have all kinds of websites. I got all kinds of apps. I just find that that's a simple one that you can enjoy. Anyways, this is the Caribou Weather Dude Show for Wednesday the 31st of July. I hope that all of you are well out there and enjoy the summer weather when you get it. There's going to be some of that summer weather. I'm going to have my dinner now, and I'm going to take a bath and get clean and get ready for another day out and stinking in the bush. Working hard and doing what I love to do. I love fighting the good fight. That's me. That's who I am inside. Okay, we'll see you next time. Bye for now. Bye. Hit like, share, subscribe. And do go join my Patreon Interior Weather Watchers. Help me out there. Throw me a couple bucks, and you get to see some content that no one else gets to see when I have time to make it, which I do not right now. I barely have time to do this. Okay, that's it for today. Bye.